It's the Seahouse Records Podcaster, yeah.
Welcome to the Seahouse Records podcast. My guest tonight is the one and only Jamie Bosanko. Hello, Jamie.
Hello, Matt.
Are you all right?
I am. This is going to be a bit weird.
Why?
Because I haven't really done anything like this before, and I struggle to explain why I wrote songs, and so it's going to be really interesting revisiting them and hearing them and thinking about them.
I think so too. What we're going to do tonight is listen to Jamie's 2015 album, Echolocation. 2015 is 8 years old, Jamie.
Yeah, I know. That's crazy. I can remember being in the studio doing it, and I remember the things in my life that were going on at the time, and some of those things probably informed some of the songs.
Well, let's find out.
Yeah.
So this is the first track from your album. This is The One-Winged Fly.
It's my brother Craig Nellis on the drums. Yeah, we're off and running.
So Craig's still playing drums for you?
Craig still plays drums for me. He's my brother. What can I say? He's just... I love his pace. I love his energy.
Yeah.
I love how much fun he has when he's sat behind a drum kit.
Yeah. He is going for it on this one, isn't he?
Yeah, he really does go for it, yeah. It's interesting listening to the lyrics because it was the week... I wrote this in January. It was a week after Christmas, and that whole first line is about that. I've got to take the tree down.
Ah, okay. Ah, right, okay.
If I can just get off my couch.
Yeah, I see. I like this, giving your secrets away.
Yeah.
This is a good insight.
And I got new Converse, and I did have new Converse.
Right.
Kick the Can, we used to play that in Franklin Street, Cumberland Court, when we were kids.
And stylistically, what were you going for with this?
In terms of musically, I don't really know. Just energy, just fun, pace, energy. It got reviewed by Carl Steele, who quoted it as saying it could be one of the lost Buzzcocks recordings, which is interesting because it's that thing that comes up again about punk.
Yes.
And I'm not a punk fan.
No, but there's an energy.
But there's an energy there. And I wonder whether punk is more about energy than an actual musical genre.
Yeah, maybe. That's what I take from punk. That's my biggest thing about it.
Yeah.
The energy's fantastic. So you're playing all the guitars on this too?
I am, yeah. It was great fun because I'd been performing as a solo acoustic musician for such a long time, and it was great to get the electric guitars out and go back to being a guitarist again, which I always was in the Magic Toy Shop from years ago. So I had a lot of fun doing that. This third verse, I didn't know what to write, and this is a collection of things that I've written in a notebook when I was on holiday with my daughters. So the Dolphins in Chains we went to the Aqua Show.
Okay.
All that stuff.
So it's like a collage, that verse.
Yeah.
Ah, okay. So was it a big step up for you to front a band in a sense as well?
Definitely, because I'd gone from being a guitarist who'd never sang in a band for years to being a solo singer-songwriter, and then to front a band. It was a very different experience because it was my band, they were my songs, and I think Craig found it different because Craig was a drummer in Magic Toy Shop.
Yeah.
But I was very much directing what was going on and saying, no, like this, you slow,
Right.
And it was, I felt pressure, almost felt like a musical director of projects.
Yes. It does come with responsibility, doesn't it?
Yeah, because it was my band, it was on me. But I really enjoyed it, I just loved it, it was such a buzz doing it.
And this song has been in your live set ever since?
Yeah, I just love playing it. It's a fantastic song to start a set with because it just gets you we're not messing about. We're off. So I've always enjoyed playing it. I've always loved it. It's always gone down really well, and it's a good one to sort of open the voice up as well because there's some real big things going in there.
So this is one that you can play acoustically solo as well as in a band.
Yeah, definitely. Yeah, because the chord progression, especially in the chorus, it's very, very, very simple. And I forgot the guitar here. It's that. So it lends itself very easily to a solo performance as well, and it can have a different energy when you do it as a solo acoustic. But it's meant to be played as it was. I really wanted to record the songs as I heard them in my head when I wrote them, without feeling like I have to write an acoustic song. That was what I wanted to do with this album. I wanted to show people that actually, okay, you've seen me doing this as an acoustic guitar player, but this is what I actually heard when I wrote these songs. So it was just a really enjoyable experience to flesh those songs out.
Okay, next up, this is Flying Sideways. This might be my favourite one.
Oh, that's cool. I still love it. I love playing it now.
Yeah, I do. I know we've been rehearsing the band for some upcoming gigs, haven't we?
Yep.
And this is one that not only do I enjoy playing, but it stays in my head.
Right, oh, that's cool. I find myself swinging to it when I'm singing and playing it. I find myself gigging a bit.
Swinging your pants?
Yeah, swinging to it.
It has got that lilt.
It's got
1,
like that
2,
song.
3,
Yeah,
4, 5,
exactly.
6.
Yeah. And I like that. We've got Howard drumming now.
Oh, this is Howard Connor on
Yeah.
drums.
And I wanted that.
Yeah.
I love this song.
It came late in the recordings. I remember this.
It did.
It was like an extra one, and I was thinking, he's got to stop at some point. He's got all these songs coming.
Yeah.
And then I thought, if he's got one left over, it can't be that good. And then you come out with this. It's like, where's this one been? Why have you saved this one?
Yeah. Well, it probably interesting story because it came late in the sessions because I'll talk openly about it. It's about meeting my wife.
Right.
So this is literally about a night where I'd played a gig and she was there, and it lit that opening line by the scenery on my way to the bar.
Yes.
Taken in by the scenery. It was her at the bar.
Okay.
And that treading carefully conversation.
Right.
I was being very. I was in kind of self-preservation mode about giving too much away because, it's like this girl's really beautiful and I don't want to.
Yeah.
I want to play it cool.
Okay.
But I couldn't take my eyes off her, and that was what it was.
What a nice way to remember that feeling, though.
Oh yeah. So this whole song is about that night,
yes.
right up to the last verse when you'll hear the last verse when it's I've got to watch her walk away.
Yeah.
But I like the way the song swings. I like the way it moves. I like playing it still today. I love it.
Yeah, it is. It's a good one. And we've got an accordion solo.
Yeah.
There.
Interesting, as a guitarist, I didn't want a guitar solo in every song.
Oh, well, that's nice.
Which is a strange position to come from as a guitarist, because when I was in the Magic Toy Shop as a guitarist, especially as a young guitarist, you want to fill every space with guitar.
Yes.
You want to fill every bar with a face melter and all that stuff that you go through as a kid.
Yeah.
And
it's quite a surprise having that accordion come in there in what is essentially a rock song.
Yeah. So when I play it live as a solo artist, if I'm doing a solo gig, I do that with a harmonica. Yeah.
Oh, the same kind of melody.
Yeah.
Oh, that makes a lot of sense. Yeah, it's good.
But yeah, hold your nerve now, don't make a sound, maybe she'll look back. There was definitely that feeling when she was walking away, but I got that little line from a film called In the Line of Fire, Clint Eastwood, and
right.
He says that as Benny Russo's walking away, he says, come on, give me that look, if you look back, I know you're interested.
And did she?
And I can't remember, to be honest.
So it's a wish.
But it was hold your nerve now, maybe she'll look back.
Yeah. Oh, it's nice. It's nice to remember those feelings, though, those nerves.
Yeah, definitely, yeah. It was a gig in the Basement Bar in Ulverston.
Yes.
Interesting as well, I remember why I did that gig.
Okay.
And I did a gig, I was opening for Sancho.
Oh.
With Dean Zaccarini, God bless him. And I had 3 gigs that weekend. That gig, I had a gig in Salford as part of Salford Music Festival, and I had a gig at the Drawing Room in Barrow on the Sunday, so I had a full weekend, and I was really tired from work, and I was very nearly going to pull out with that gig. And I think if it wasn't the fact that it was Sancho and it was Dean, and I knew we'd have a good time, that I thought, no, get your shit together and go and do the gig.
And I bet you're glad you did.
I'm glad I did, and it, God bless Dean, it's an interest when people can affect your life in a positive way. That's always a nice thing as well to remember.
Next up on your album, track 3, Change of Pace. This one is called Seasons.
Yeah, this is I think this is probably one of the most important songs I've written, and probably one of the most important song on the album, because it's the first time you and I worked together. And you actually played drums on this. You played brushes.
Oh yeah.
And I think this was you and I seeing if we could work together.
That's right.
Because we did this live, if you remember rightly. We did. You on the drums and me on the guitar, and we set some mics up around the room. And
I remember not understanding the beat.
Yeah, and
or where the beat wanted to be.
Yeah, and I remember not ever really having to think about that stuff before either, because I just wrote guitar songs.
Oh yeah.
And so it's dead interesting. But this is as well, I think, me definitely with the influence of having been performing as a solo acoustic songwriter, singer for years, for about 5 years. This was definitely a song that came out organically of that experience, because it's a very acoustic song.
Yes.
Future, let's do it twice.
It's a spacious song, isn't it?
Yeah.
But not that it's lacking anything, but it's slow and it gives you space to express, and it's not hurried.
No.
That's nice, that vibrato guitar.
Yeah, I like that, yeah. It's a trick I learned from Rob Cavanagh from the Magic Toy Shop. It's just a nice little accent in there.
Yeah, it doesn't need anything else. Oh, I remember what I was listening to that might have influenced the recording of this song. A band called the American Analog Set.
Okay.
It's just quite a minimalistic kind of almost sort of 4-piece acoustic.
Yeah.
Light drums, bass and keyboards, and that's it.
Just had a thought. Do you remember at the very start of the song, there's that little twirl of the brushes? And you did that as a sort of almost like a little warm-up, and it got recorded, and I said, no, I like it, leave it.
Yeah, that's right. That's what that funny noise is at the start, a brush twirl.
And this is the electric piano solo, which was also not a finished piece. I said, I don't want a guitar solo. And you did this as a sort of, well, let's see how it might sound. And I just fell in love with it. And over the time of recording the album, I was like, no, don't do it. I just love this. I can't imagine hearing anything else.
I remember now. It was like a test piece, wasn't it?
Yeah.
To see if a sound would fit.
Yeah.
But we ended up keeping it.
Yeah.
I think you're right. It had something about it.
Yeah. There's that bit in the middle. Diddling, diddling.
Yeah.
I love it. Yeah.
It's not the sort of thing you can write.
No.
And you wouldn't play it under pressure either.
It's quite exposing vocally. That my voice in that sounds quite vulnerable.
Okay. It does sound quite proud in the mix, doesn't it? Like it's by itself.
And I think stripped of all the electric guitar and energy that the first two songs had.
Yeah. It's a very different vocal, isn't it, to the first two?
I'd been listening to a lot of Amy Mann, and I wonder whether there's something of that in there as well.
Ah, okay.
She's a phenomenal songwriter.
So she will have been an influence on this kind of song.
Yeah, I think so.
The more acoustic side of Jamie Bosanko.
Yeah, for sure, yeah.
So these kind of chords you've got going on here, they're like open string chords.
Yeah, it's kind of a C shape, just sort of sliding up. There's quite a lot of fretless on this, but I remember I like it because that's what happens when you play guitars.
Yeah.
That's how they sound.
Yeah.
You shouldn't ever edit. Shouldn't ever try and compress that stuff out.
No.
So yeah, it is. It's just that sort of.
So it is literally a C shape.
Basically the C shape, yeah.
Right. Okay. That's nice. That's one of those songs where you've got an accompanying bass line anywhere.
Yeah, there's a lot when I do it solo. It's about that sort of.
Yeah. That's something else I remember
Yeah.
about that song. When we came to record the bass, you were quite insistent that those 1, 2, 3, 4,
Yeah.
5, 6, every beat gets a note, like almost
Yeah.
like a walking bass line.
Yeah, it was. Yeah, it was exactly that. Doon 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 doon.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Which in those kind of songs you don't always get because it's like a one. Duh.
Yeah.
You're only
Yeah,
on those.
yeah.
And to fill in the gaps with lots of notes was quite unusual. But, you know, it's different and it's great.
Yeah, that's cool. Yeah. I'm kind of a happy novice. I'm kind of a, at that sort of stuff, happy amateur.
Well, there's no rules.
Yeah.
It's just what you normally get. And when you
Yeah.
get something that's different to the norm, it's great, isn't it? It's really welcome.
Love it.
Right, next up, it's the title track. Well, sort of the title track. This is Echolocation, but two separate words, as opposed to Echolocation being the one-word album title.
Well, that's just a grammatical error on my part. It is one word.
Oh, right, okay. So there's nothing deep about it.
No, just it's the superpower that Daredevil has, which I kind of love because he's blind and he.
What's this now?
Echolocation.
What's Daredevil?
Oh, come on!
No, I don't know.
One of the greatest Marvel superheroes.
Oh no, I don't know anything about anything of that ilk.
Just forget the bit about Ben Affleck playing him in a crummy 90s film.
Right.
He's just really cool. His superpower is that he's blind, and all his other senses are heightened, and he sees by using echolocation, which is similar to dolphins and bats and different.
Yes.
Almost like a sonar. So it was kind of echolocation give me blindness.
Okay, so it's directly inspired by that.
So that,
not the film, but the character.
The title is into the lyrically. I think it's again talking about Flying Sideways earlier. It's that thing about falling in love again. You know, give me blindness, so because I might fall in love tonight.
Yes.
Give me blindness, so I can't see, because I might fall in love.
Right.
Tonight.
That's a big guitar lead coming in there.
Yeah.
During that chorus.
Yeah. We were just joking before that the sound we used was called Dublin Delay, which might give you a clue as to where the guitar and sound was influenced by.
That's a Logic Pro preset, or it was in that old version of Logic.
And it avoids any type of copyright infringement to the
but
the guitarist who made that sound famous.
Yeah.
Who's a hero of mine.
Of course.
I think he's a great pioneer.
But was that an influence on the sonic vision for this song?
Certainly, I wanted that delay, I wanted that aspect to it, and the riffs are built around that sort of having that delay effect. The riff itself, if I remember rightly, it's a kind of inverting a riff that a very old friend of mine, a very good friend of mine, a lad called Simon Sackett, he showed me this song when we were about 15,
right, that
he'd written, and so the riff is kind of the same shape as that, and I basically inverted it.
Okay.
And that's it's just a shape that I've always liked.
Well, that's how you make new things. That's not stealing.
Yeah. No. Oh, he's a fantastic guitarist and singer.
It's got good dynamics, this song, though, hasn't it?
Yeah, Howard again. We on the drums. We wanted that toms through the verses. Boom, 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 boom. And I remember when we were recording it in the chorus, I wanted the bass drum hitting like a constant.
Yes.
And I remember we had a bit of, because it was probably tiring for him to keep that up to a whole chorus. But I think it's the right effect to drive that chorus.
Yeah. Oh, so you ended up winning that argument, did you?
I won the argument,
right.
yeah.
Okay, that's good.
Well, in the end, I think I said something like, I wrote the song, can we play it as I wrote it?
So you put your foot down so he could put his foot down?
Yes.
Right, okay.
I put my foot down once, so he put it down multiple times.
So that riff then,
Yeah.
that you've nicked, I mean...
Yeah, so I'm playing... And the song that my friend showed me years ago was a much different type of song, but it was
Oh, right, so
it's the
same shapes.
Same shapes, but I've obviously inverted it and come up to the A as opposed to coming down from it.
Yeah.
But I just like the way that feels, that sort of chugging.
Yeah. Over that open A string.
Yeah, exactly.
It's
yeah,
nice.
And then it's the big chorus with the A's and the big E's and all that lot. And
Yeah.
yeah, I like it. We should play that live more. I don't play it live very often because it can sound a bit odd acoustically on my own. But I think with a band, I think it needs to be played.
Okay, get it in the set.
Let's get it. Let's do it.
Right, this one's called New Orleans. This is a different one again, isn't it?
Yeah, Johnny Swift's favourite song. I think he put this on his first Back to Love album, and
Yes,
he
did.
keeps telling me, he keeps bugging me to play it. Yeah, I like this one. It's a different feel. It's a bit bluesy, a bit playful.
It sounds like it could come from what it's named after.
Yeah, and that's what it was going for. I grew. My first experiences of playing guitar and listening to guitar was blues music.
Right.
From back from the record collection my mum had.
Like acoustic blues.
All sorts of stuff from sort of Buddy Guy, B.B. King, Peter Green, Cream, Yardbirds, all the way back to Robert Johnson, Big Bill Boonsey and all of those guys, and Dylan as well. Dylan had some fantastic bluesy stuff going on in the early days as well. So it all came from that, really. Lyrically, I remember vividly driving home from a gig in Manchester and just being really tired, and it was pouring it down.
Yes.
I remember that night, and the first verse is that.
Ah, okay.
Theatre bar, there you go. Theatre bar gets a mention.
Yep. But you've got to have these geographical references. Barrow in Furnace references.
Yeah.
This song's in two halves, isn't it?
Yeah.
Well, not exact halves, but two parts.
Yeah, I wanted to do something a bit light-hearted at the end. So I bought a kazoo.
You did buy a kazoo, and didn't you put me on drums for the second part?
Yeah.
Because how did that come about? Did we record it separately? This bit, that's me on drums.
Yeah, it's you on drums all the way. You're playing brushes, yeah.
Even in the first half?
In the first half, it's you on the brushes, and then in the second half, we did it again. But then Howard was in one day, and Howard goes, "It needs a snare in this last section." So Howard recorded just that. That's him on the snare.
Oh wow!
And that's me on the kazoo.
Couldn't even. Yeah, that is definitely you on the kazoo.
Yeah. Great fun when we did this live. When we did the launch gig, it was great fun.
Yeah.
A wet fart to finish.
No, it is good though, because it is a bit of fun on the album.
Yeah.
Because you've had some serious moments.
Yes.
And that is something lighter. And it does give it a lift. You're a few songs in now. So from an album point of view, is that the way you were kind of thinking as well, about structuring an album?
Yeah, I always think... I remember my old mate Phil Burkett from the Magic Toy Shop, we used to talk about our favourite first 4 songs on an album.
Right, yeah.
And so I wanted the first 4 songs to have that sort of, this is an album, So you got One Wing Fly, Flying Sideways, Seasons, and Echolocation. And so I wanted it to be a strong start, and then we can play a little bit.
Yeah.
From then on with what what we think we, surprise the listener a little bit, and it was that was what was in my head. So this song, after that first really strong start, I always have a bit of fun, a light-hearted
I think
moment.
you achieved it.
Yeah, like we should do it again. We should do everything.
This next one is different again. This is Gone. What's that on there? Is that mandolin?
Mandolin, yeah. I love mandolins. Ever since Peter Buck picked one up, I've just loved them.
Of course, yes. The R.E.M. influence.
Yeah. And Craig's back on drums.
Yes.
This is definitely a song that was written in the midst of being an acoustic performer.
Yeah.
And I like to write songs that quite a lot of acoustic performances are slow and mellow, and laid back, and that's cool. There's some beautiful performances out there. Locally, by the way, some amazing performances. But I always think, just because I'm playing an acoustic guitar, I don't have to be slow, I don't have to be mellow. I like to play my guitars, I like to put them through it.
It's the rhythm, isn't it? And driving rhythm.
And I always feel like I want to be quite percussive with an acoustic guitar. I don't mean percussive as in tapping and things like that. I mean strumming in a way that gives it a beat.
Yeah.
So it definitely was born out of that.
It kind of comes from playing live as well, doesn't it? When you're faced with kind of a crowd that want entertaining,
absolutely,
but also they might be quite noisy. And you have to make an impression. And sometimes, finger picking just won't do.
No, it just won't. No, doesn't do in the drawing room or the Derby.
Other venues are available.
The Derby is my spiritual home, I should say. The Derby's been an amazing place for me. It's where I first played on the same bill as you, actually.
Oh, it was.
It was.
Was it
Summerfest or something like that?
That's right. I remember you came down to see me.
Yep,
I played very early in the day.
Yep, you did. Yeah, I met my best friend and sadly missed brother in arms, Collie.
Yes,
the Derby.
Definitely associate Collie with that place.
Yeah, absolutely. A lot of people I love dearly I met in the Derby.
Right.
Huge place for me. God bless Gaz Woods for keeping it going.
Yeah. There's some high backing vocals going on there.
Yeah, this was an album where I really wanted to test my voice, and there's some falsetto harmonies in there, so I really wanted to test my voice and get into building harmonies and vocals. Electric guitar in there again, can't get away from the fact that I'm a guitarist at heart.
Well, again,
this is a nice moment.
Yes.
This is a nice moment live as well. I think when you're playing something quietly and people are listening is when you know you've got them.
Yeah. It's almost like by design.
Yeah.
This can test that.
Yeah. And again, vulnerability in the voice, because it's...
Yeah.
I don't think I've got a great voice, but I think I've got... dare I say it, I think I've got an honesty in my voice.
Well, we're similar in that, Jamie, I think, because we've both come from acts where we weren't the main singer.
Yeah.
And then you kind of thought, well, who's going to do it? I'll have to.
Oh, yeah.
So you end up doing it, and you find it, don't you?
Yeah.
You find a way to be yourself.
Yeah.
And
in those moments, in those quiet moments where you have to hold that note, and you're not a great, I don't consider myself to be a great singer, but when you have to hold that note with nothing else going on, and it's not a note that you're going to belt out to get the power behind it, there's a vulnerability there.
Yeah.
The piano coming in there, I like that. Yeah. And now Craig's off.
Craig's off. And we'll try to keep up with him.
I love it. I love it.
Did we play these to clicks or not? Did we?
We might have done, but then we played them to Craig. But I love the power of this as well. This big deal. This you're already gone. I love it.
But it's another 3 or 6 feel, this one, but different again.
I like it. Yeah, I like doing that. I don't profess to understand all of that. I feel something, I like it. I usually get that from you, where you say, this is in such and such, and I'm like going, okay, is it?
Right.
Cool.
Right. So you hadn't even thought about it?
No, not really.
It just comes out.
No. Ba-da-bum-bum-bum. Ding, 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 ding.
Yeah, cracking.
One of my joys in life is watching Craig play drums. He
Yeah.
makes me smile watching him do it.
Yeah. Well, he's enjoying it as
He
well
loves
still,
it.
isn't he?
Loves it.
And you're right, he did really well on these recordings. Because he just came in, I don't know how much you practiced with him beforehand to get the songs, but he came in and nailed them, didn't he?
I think we might have done one practice in what's now Bums.
Oh, right.
I think we might have done one afternoon together, and that was it. And then he just comes in and does it.
Yeah. Yeah, he played, he brought, we had 3 drummers on this album, if I count me, which I'm not really a drummer, but I did,
Seasons is amazing. Don't put yourself down.
Well, I'm not really a drummer, that's what I mean, but to have Craig and to have Howard was good, wasn't it? Because they each brought different qualities.
Yeah.
So we were very lucky to get them both.
Oh, I played bass on that Gone as well.
You played bass on Gone?
Yeah.
Oh, right.
Played your Hofner bass.
Oh, you did play bass on one. I always forget which song it was you played bass on. That's me on bass now.
It is.
That's the Rickenbacker.
I love this bass line, by the way.
It's quite minimal.
Yeah, it put me in mind of something. Beatles.
Oh, it's definitely a Macca
put me in mind of that. Oh, yeah.
Kind of thing. And Howard's back on drums here.
He is, yeah.
And you said he's doing this ride cymbal all the way
I remember
through.
when we were fleshing this out with him, and I've always been very, from my previous experiences, it's hi-hat in the verses and riding the cymbals and and Howard just says, well, what if I just sort of do this, and he just started playing this lovely, relaxed, not a lot of frills going on. He puts a Ringo fill in at the end of this chorus, which is lovely.
Okay.
But it's the ride all the way through, which is different for me.
Yeah.
Slide guitar on a new telly that I just bought.
I didn't realise that was new.
Brand new, yeah.
I just assumed you'd had it a while, that.
I used to hate tellies. I was always about this. Oh,
there's
the Ringo fill. Yeah,
that's terrific.
Yeah, like I've just fell down the stairs. I love it. No, I used to tellies. I was always about the Strat when I was a kid because I was a Clapton fan when I was a little kid. And then I went through a Gibson humbucker phase, and I've always thought tellies are this ugly slab of wood.
What, to look at?
Yeah.
Right.
And then as I got older, I just started to fall in love with it. And now I just think this is one of the most beautiful things ever.
Right. Yeah.
It's such a workhorse as well.
Yeah. They got it right first time.
Yeah.
Didn't they?
I like this song. I think, again, very written very organically as being an acoustic singer-songwriter.
Yeah.
And it was nice to put some electrics in there on this. I like that stuff.
It's kind of similar to Seasons in a way, in its...
In its timing and...
Yeah.
Yep. Falsetto in there.
So had you done much slide guitar?
No, very little. Very little. Little bits in here and there with the toy shop, but very little.
Right. You don't really hear it too much, do you?
No. Which is a shame. I wanted to have that sound of that, that lovely George Harrison sound that he gets when he plays bottleneck guitar. Sort of a dirty, overdriven, but quite beautiful and melodic as well.
Yeah, it's not too much with George, is it? It's so controlled. It's just him.
Yeah. We got 2 vocals going on there as well, haven't we? I've got a sort of bass octave and a higher octave.
You've got your vocals an octave apart in this. Yeah. Showing your range there, Jamie.
A little bit of electric guitar there to play out too.
Purposely didn't talk over that ending because I was waiting for it. I liked that ending the way it ends because it's not on necessarily a ending chord.
No, it's on a A minor, I think.
Right.
Bit of REM in there, I think.
Oh,
Quite
okay.
often end a song on a minor chord.
Right.
Maybe a bit of REM influence in there.
Okay, just leave a question posing.
Yeah.
Okay, another change of pace, Jamie. This is Latin mathematics.
Yeah. I think this is it's just a rocker, really.
It is, it's loud, isn't it?
I had the Les Paul on this one.
Yes.
Yeah, no messing.
So coming after a song like that, it's give the album another lift, doesn't it?
Yeah.
Again, thinking about the album as a journey.
And I think that drum intro by Howard as well, like you're straight in. Again, probably a bit of REM in there. In that overdriven guitar. The way that guitar's being picked, although it's on an overdriven sound, it's being picked. There's not a riff as such. I'm picking through chords.
Yeah, you're not chugging through
which
it.
is a bit of... I think Peter Buck's a wonderful guitar player because he's not technically a brilliant guitar player, but he just plays stuff that just absorbs you and pulls you into a song.
Yeah, definitely. Am I playing organ on this?
Yeah, we've got an organ on it, yeah.
That's another REM sound, isn't it?
Yeah,
really?
and the acoustic guitar in the background as well.
Yeah.
Pushed me vocally, this one.
Yeah. Well, having to sing against a loud rock band,
yeah, it pushed
you
me,
need
this one.
to, don't you?
Yeah. I think my voice changed over the course of recording this album. I think because it took I think we're about a year at it, and I was gigging hard, and I think I've noticed my song on some of the later songs sounds quite a lot thicker and more aggressive.
Okay.
I like this. I like that little change of pace in the song.
Yeah. Another solo here.
Later, yeah. I love that Les Paul.
Yeah.
Yeah. Bit of the old toy shop lead guitar player coming out there.
Right.
I think lyrically this is just about the human race can be quite devious.
Okay.
Present you one thing, but actually they're selling you something else.
And how does that link to the title?
Two things I can't do.
Oh, right, okay.
I can't read Latin and I can't do maths.
Right.
So you're spelling in Latin something mathematic.
Yeah.
You're presenting me something I can't decipher.
Oh, I see.
Yeah.
Yeah,
And I
great.
missed your show, but I caught the encore. But I didn't see what was going on until it was too late.
So this isn't about a specific individual.
No,
it's just
about
like you say, the people in
politicians,
general. Right.
the church, the politicians, the people that tell you things, but they don't mean that. They put you in a position that you don't even know you've been put in, and then act like it's your fault.
Right. Well, you need to get these things out, and
Yeah.
as a songwriter, I think you need to.
I think songwriting, I'd encourage anybody just to, if you can already play an instrument, or you want to play an instrument, or you don't play an instrument, write. Find an outlet to write things because it's an amazing way to, release something. It's cathartic.
It's its own form of therapy, isn't
absolutely. And it can be as cryptic or as literal as you want.
Yeah.
But pick up an instrument and put your thoughts into a song. Give it a go.
That's the advice from Jamie Bosanko, ladies and gentlemen. And good advice it is as well. And what is this advice too, would you say? I thought I told you to leave.
Yeah.
Or is it more of an order?
I don't know. I think it's about sort of like, when a relationship reaches a point where someone wants it over, but they kind of don't want to say it's over and they want you to say it's over.
Right.
That sort of thing. I mean, this is going back a long time. Yeah. And then, we're making our way through the day, going through the motions,
Yeah.
taking our time, got nothing to say.
Yeah.
I used to like playing this, and it would be nice to do this with a band, but it needs that 12-string electric.
Well, yeah, that's the thing that stands out here, isn't
Yeah.
it? That 12-string
Yeah.
Rickenbacker
Yeah.
that we got hold of.
And the harmonies, I really wanted I wanted that kind of. I'm a huge fan of Tom Petty and the Heartbreakers.
Yeah.
And Tom Petty was a huge fan of the Byrds, and the Byrds are a huge fan of the Beatles, and they've all got two things in common: fantastic vocal harmonies and 12-string guitars.
Yeah, it's true. It's true. You can hear the influence in this song. You can.
Yeah, definitely. The guitar came from your friend Jonty.
Yes. Another dearly departed friend.
Yeah, absolutely.
He was very good of him to lend us one of his 100 guitars that he had.
Yeah, and it was a special one. It was like a 1968 12-string 360.
It was as
Fire
well.
Blow.
Yeah,
It was beautiful.
and we think it used to belong to the band Badfinger.
That's right. Yeah, the guitarist from Badfinger.
Yeah. And we got it, and you changed the strings on it, didn't you?
Oh, yes. They were rusted.
Right.
And
Yeah.
I took them off, and I was unprepared for what would happen next, whereas the neck, I think, just went, oh, I'm having a rest. I'm lying down. I thought I broke it.
After years of tension.
Yeah, and I spent about 4 hours coaxing it back into, come on, stick with me.
Yeah.
And I got the action set, and it was a joy. It was beautiful.
It sounded great.
It sings. It sings. It's like a voice.
Yeah.
Just the harmonics it brings out.
Yeah. I mean, that's quite a busy band going on, and it just cuts through
Yeah.
nicely. Chimes.
Yeah. Well, it's got to cut through Craig. Craig's back.
Here's Craig again.
And I like that, Craig. It's like a staccato sort of.
Yeah, it's like you'd expect like hand claps and
Yeah.
cha-cha.
Yeah, the way he does that hi-hat in between. God, that falsetto harmony.
Yeah.
I'm up there.
Yeah. But now you've said about those
Wear your
bands,
heart. There, that lyric. Wear your heart on your Facebook status. I credit that with Paul Colton. Paul Colton said that to me once about people wearing that. He said it was a wonderful quote, and I thought, I've got to write that. Wearing their hearts on their Facebook statuses.
Right, okay.
I love that.
Well, we can credit Paul with that. Paul Coulton of the Coulton Brothers.
Yep.
Yeah, that's terrific.
Another amazing friend of mine that I met in the Derby.
This next song is Driving On, and this is me on drums again, but I'm not. That's not important. What is important
Well, it's the first
to
thing
me?
you said. It must be somehow important.
Well, it is important because not that it's me, but I have a memory about the drums.
Right.
That floor tom that we heard there
Yeah.
at the start. After we'd played it, you said, "Oh, it's not low enough." So I ended up pitch changing the floor tom
That's right. Yeah.
to get it deeper and
Yeah,
deeper.
yeah.
So we electronically processed it, which is why it sounds a bit odd.
Right. Oh, it's interesting. Yeah, I wanted it to sound almost like one of those great big sort of
Like a timpani or something.
yeah, like that, like a
Yeah, I didn't have one of them.
no, but you can't blame me tools.
Or lack of.
There's a mandolin there with a lot of effects on it. That's
Yeah.
what sounds like a synthesizer is actually a mandolin.
Oh, so it's got a delay on. And...
Yeah.
Ah.
Do you know what? I haven't thought about this song much at all since we did this because I don't think I've ever played this live on my own. I think the only time we played it was when we did the launch gig.
Right.
But this is possibly one of the saddest songs I've ever written lyrically. And the funny thing about this is that I swear on everything I hold dear to me that I did not have anyone in mind when I wrote this. This line, one of these lines here, I remember writing it and thinking, do I actually want to write that line? I think it's here. Yeah, above the city noise.
I don't think nobody heard it. Heartbreaking in her chest.
But heartbreaking in her chest.
Right.
As if the sound of as if heartbreak could be so
be heard.
profound that you could hear it.
Yeah.
So almost, above the city noise.
Yeah.
Nobody heard it, but a heartbreaking in her chest. And I remember writing it and thinking, and actually having a real moment of like, God, do I actually want to write this? That's a heartbreaking thing to talk about. And who is this person that I feel so sorry for? And the really funny thing about this is that my sister, when she heard this, said, I won't say who she said, but she said, I think this is about. And I'd never thought of that, I swear. But that's what I love about music. Is
And about lyrics in particular.
that people can hear
Yes.
and interpret.
And apply them to their own
Yeah.
situation.
And like I said before about you can be as cryptic or as literal as you want, because it's up to the listener what it means to them.
Yeah, it is. And as long as they don't interpret it in a way that offends,
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah.
or is at odds with your
But
own
if it
beliefs,
helps them make sense of something,
yes,
then that's
absolutely.
great.
Yeah, you can find some solace in.
I remember-
in that someone else feels the same as me, or that's
Yeah,
the
yeah.
great thing, isn't it?
yeah.
The person you have called is unavailable. Please leave a message after the tone.
Now,
And that wasn't one of our phones, by the way. That's a deliberate effect on the song.
didn't we call that and record it? Or
Yeah.
we
Yeah.
did, didn't we?
Yeah, we called it and recorded it because I wanted it to be almost like, imagine if this was someone trying to tell someone how they were feeling,
Yeah.
and only to find at the end of it they were speaking to an answer machine.
So it wasn't just a sound effect we found online. It was
I actually
actually
called it.
we did the work.
Yeah, we did it. Yeah. Oh yeah. Oh yeah.
Paid off.
Yeah, we're organic. We're organic here.
Now you've left one of your big songs till almost near the end of the album. Is there a reason for that?
Yeah, this was a song that I nearly always finished my live set with, and
Right.
still do quite often today, because it's just a great way to end the set. And again, having played this so often as a solo acoustic guitar, everyone thought this song was kind of like I used to get called indie folk a lot.
Yes.
As if I don't know what even that means, indie folk. But people say, oh yeah, it's got that great folk shuffle. It only had that because I was playing it acoustically on my own.
By yourself, yeah.
And I had to give it some kind of percussion to drive it.
Yeah.
And it ended up feeling like a folky, shuffly type thing.
Okay.
But what I heard in my head when I wrote it was a real sort of swampy, bluesy, heavy, overdriven guitar, slide guitar.
Yeah.
That's what I heard when I wrote it.
I think the word you described to me when you were looking for it was, what was it? It wasn't dirty, but it was something like that.
Yeah.
Something that, I can't remember the word exactly. It'll come to me. But I hope we achieved it anyway.
And again, another
Sleazy.
sleazy.
Yeah, that's
might have
what
been,
you...
yeah. And I wanted that slide guitar in there as well, which
I remember struggling with this because it's a lot of distorted guitars.
Yep.
And finding space for everything. 'Cause
Yep.
It's a busy old song.
It's a busy song.
Those percussive taps there are great. They work nicely,
Yeah.
like sticks.
I like this line. Yeah. And I latched onto the idea probably about halfway through writing it. I latched onto the idea of Eve, as in Adam and Eve.
Ah, okay.
And this song's kind of like, lots of things have been written about her. I'm not a religious person, but she's the, she's the evil of all mankind.
Right.
Well, she's written by she's written by those in power, so why, of course, she would be, but she probably wasn't, if she existed at all. The idea that one person was responsible for the downfall of mankind is that, of course, people in power would write that.
Of course, men would.
Yes, 100%.
Yeah.
She's had her ordeal.
Yes.
Howard does some big hits on this as well, on the snare.
Yeah.
Yeah. My friend Collie used to cover this,
Yes, he did, didn't he?
and I've actually started to sing it in the way that he sang it.
That's odd.
Yeah, because he did it so well.
Right. Oh, right, so he changed it.
He just changed one of the melodies slightly. Oh, this is hot. Big hit by Howard.
Everything's just on the point of distorting there, isn't
Yeah.
it? It's just breaking up nicely, including your voice.
Yeah, yeah. And it's great to end the set with that, because you can hold that strumming for such a long time. So it's a big finish.
Big finish. Thank you. No encore. See you later.
Well, if someone buys me a pint, I'll do an encore. I mean, I'm versatile.
So out of that, we go into a more moody piece to finish the album, don't we? Some tension here. This song's called Breathe.
Yeah, it's an interesting song, this. It's about someone that I just want them to relax and be okay.
So it's well-wishing.
Yeah, definitely, yeah.
On someone in particular.
Yeah, someone important to me. It's,
Right.
it's just a case of just relax. Everything's fine. You'll be okay. You don't have to try and convince me everything's okay. Just everything will be okay.
I'd forgotten how...
Craig's on it again.
Yeah.
I love
It's a
that.
nice
I
beat,
love that stuff he does with the snare.
Yeah.
That when he rolls it.
Yeah. It's a very 90s kind of drum style, that, isn't it?
Yeah, it's a very indie ballad type.
Yeah, but it absolutely fits this song. I'd forgotten how prominent we had the piano in this, that kind of low bassy kind of chords going on.
Yeah. And that's me just kind of playing with some melodies over the chorus with the telly. And then we got the 12-string Rickenbacker in the background as well.
Oh,
doing
yes.
that chime.
Yes,
Jing, jing.
that's right.
And that guitar chime's kind of out of time with everything else.
Oh, it's out of time on purpose.
No, just I'm playing it badly.
I don't know what your reference points were for this, but just the sort of atmosphere of those verses was like a Pink Floyd song to me.
Really?
Yeah.
Wow, okay.
Especially with the piano,
Yeah.
so like something off Dark Side of the Moon or something like that.
Everyone's going to scream at the whatever they're listening to on this, but I'm not a Pink Floyd fan.
Well, that's all right.
But that's cool again because I've heard a lot of Pink Floyd and yeah, probably the most exposed guitar solo I've played in a long time.
Right, yeah.
As in, there's not a lot else going on.
Yeah. Yeah, you've taken over from the vocal.
Yeah.
And
Yeah, so I'm not. Yeah, that again. I've heard a lot of Pink Floyd, and it's cool that people listen and go, "Oh, I can hear this, can hear that." I'm all up for that stuff because I see songwriting as like it's a collage of things I've heard and maybe not even realised that I've liked or been influenced by, and it's almost like a date of input and then there's a date of output, and here it is, and I like that.
yeah, you don't know where it comes from sometimes.
Yeah.
Sometimes you do.
I can cite certain influences for sure.
That solo's still going on, isn't it?
Yeah, I played it. My guitar playing in this is probably the closest to the style I would have played in the Magic Toy Shop back in the 90s. So
Right.
there's a lot of that. Oh, harmonica, just a different way to end a song. I remember thinking, rather than having loads of guitar.
But it's like the lead guitar all the way through,
Yeah.
isn't it?
Yeah, it's interesting listening to this again. I haven't listened to this for a while, and it is a plea. It's a plea to someone to just relax, breathe. Everything's okay. You don't have to convince me you're okay. I know you're going to be okay.
Well, it's a nice way to finish the album with that kind of thought, isn't it, as well?
Yeah,
Like
yeah.
a lasting impression. Well, thank you very much for coming in.
No problem. Thank you for having it. It's been really, really interesting listening to that again.
It has for me as well, being involved with it from a number of angles, really, and listening back to it and getting some insight from you about the songwriting process has been really, really interesting for me.
Yeah.
It's nice to learn about different approaches, not just about subject matter and things like that, but about how you see things and analyse things and how you let yourself be influenced by stuff.
Influenced by stuff that you wouldn't necessarily say that you liked either. That's an interesting thing. So the whole punk thing,
Yeah,
you know.
yeah.
Okay, I'll go with it. It's cool. It's fine. If you like that energy, then you call it punk if you want to.
Yeah.
I'm cool with that.
Because these days you do sound like a punk.
I do. More and more. I should just give into it and get my weekend or something with what's left of my hair.
Thank you, Jamie Bosanko. That's Echolocation.
Cheers. Thank you.
This has been the Seahouse Records podcast. You can see and hear more of us on www.seahouserecords.com.
It's the Seahouse